Good evening. Following our exhaustive report on the initial hostile takeover of a household by a small infant, we now turn to Phase 2 of the occupation. We are, of course, referring to the toddler years, an age best described as being governed by a miniature dictator who has recently discovered the power of independent mobility and the word no. We go live to our correspondent Susan, who is observing a specimen in its natural habitat, a recently tidied living room. Susan.
Neil, the situation here is fluid. The subject, having spent the last hour meticulously arranging cushions into what can only be described as a rudimentary fort, has now declared the entire structure yucky. The objective appears to have shifted from architectural engineering to demolition. The primary tool for this task is a piece of toast liberally coated in what appears to be jam, now being used as a combination paintbrush and battering ram against a white wall.
Fascinating. So the creative impulse has given way to a form of anarchic performance art. Susan, let's talk about the toddler's economic philosophy. Last time, we spoke of the infant's simple, demand-heavy model. How has this evolved?
The economic model has become significantly more complex, Neil. It's a system of aggressive and, frankly, baffling negotiation. For example, the subject has just offered to trade a single, slightly damp sock for unrestricted access to a television remote. This follows an earlier attempt to purchase an entire biscuit tin with a promise to be good, a currency whose value fluctuates wildly and is by all accounts in a state of hyperinflation.
It's the Bretton Woods of the playroom. A new economic order is being established not on gold, but on the perceived value of 5 more minutes of cartoons. What about their grasp of logic and reason? We assume that as language develops, so does the capacity for rational discourse.
That is a charmingly naive assumption, Neil. Logic, as we understand it, has been entirely replaced by a new system. I can best describe it as reverse causality. For instance, the subject is currently crying because their juice is too wet. They are also refusing to wear shoes because, and I quote, "yesterday was windy." The connection between these 2 points remains a mystery that the world's leading philosophers have yet to untangle. It's like trying to debate with a surrealist poet who is also angry about the fundamental nature of liquid.
So to be clear for our viewers, suggesting that putting on a coat will prevent one from being cold is met with the same level of suspicion as proposing that the sky is in fact made of cheese.
Precisely. The adult is seen as a purveyor of outlandish falsehoods. The toddler, meanwhile, operates on a level of pure, unshakable conviction. They possess the certainty of a zealot. For example, the belief that a monster lives in the vacuum cleaner is not a theory, Neil. It is an established, peer-reviewed fact within their world. Proving otherwise is as futile as trying to explain tax returns to a badger.
It's a post-truth world, and toddlers were the pioneers. Let's move on to public appearances. The infant, as we reported, required a logistical operation on par with a medium-sized military campaign. Has this improved?
No, Neil. The logistical challenges remain, but they are now compounded by a new element: public diplomacy. Every trip to the supermarket is now a high-stakes hostage negotiation. The subject will, with impeccable timing, lie flat on the floor in the cereal aisle, refusing to move unless a list of non-negotiable demands are met. These demands typically include a specific brand of chocolate biscuit and the immediate cessation of all trolley-based movement. It's a filibuster, but with more kicking.
A masterclass in passive resistance. Gandhi would be taking notes.
Finally, Susan, what is the proposed solution from the adult administration? How do they plan to handle this unpredictable, energetic, and frankly irrational regime?
The current strategy appears to be one of containment and appeasement, Neil. It's a delicate dance of distraction, bribery, and the tactical deployment of snacks. The adults have learned that a direct confrontation is always a losing battle. Instead, they propose satirical solutions to real problems. For example, to the issue of a toddler refusing to eat their dinner, the parent might suggest that the broccoli is in fact a tiny tree for a dinosaur to eat. The success of this tactic is at best 50-50. It's a policy built on hope, caffeine, and the quiet acceptance that for the next few years their home will be run on the same principles as a badly managed music festival.
So, in essence, the parents have ceded all control and are now merely crisis managers in a benevolent dictatorship of their own making. A poignant and deeply neutral summary. Thank you, Susan. We will of course continue to monitor this situation, presumably until the subject becomes a teenager and communication ceases entirely. Good night.